Okay, this is a video on using the IM608 to basically copy the crash data off of a airbag module. In this case, we're using the this is from a 2018 Ford Focus, not Focus, I'm sorry, Escape, and we're gonna basically read the data from the crash unit, from the SRS RCM unit, and clear the data. Then we're gonna put the cleared data back on to the memory chip. On this unit, it uses the 95640 memory chip, which is kind of pretty common for this model. There are different ones for pretty much many different controllers use different memory chips, and also some of them are stored directly on the processor that contains the memory. Those particularly are resettable on the OBD2 port. This one is the G. Let's see if we can focus. It's not focusing here. Anyway, it's the GJ5T14B3221AD, and this number here is 0285014109. That you can match up the hardware. I've already taken this off. It's pretty easy. You got 4 screws down under. They're star screws, so they look like this. You know, it's out of focus here. Yeah, they look like about a T10 or something like that. Anyway, once you remove those 4 screws, the cover then comes off like that, and then you'll be able to just slide the board straight up out like that, and it's gonna look like this. Now, on the underside of the board is the actual memory chip, and I've actually already got my clamp placed. You're gonna use the connector in that came with it. Your IM608 is the APA103, and if you can look at the red line here, that is pin 1. So I've got it going straight up on the Autel, and you just need a USB connection cable to your IM608, and pin 1 on this board, on this chip rather, is always going to be at this orientation. So this one on this side, this going to this corner here, is pin 1. Sometimes you gotta kind of play with it to get it to sit correctly on the chip. It's doesn't really hold well sometimes. It takes a little bit of practice. I'm going to show you when you have a problem. One thing, let me go into the IM608 and show you how you can check all of that. Okay, so on the IM608, what you're going to do is go into Programmer, Accept, it's going to check your programmer and see if the firmware is up to date, which mine is, so it's fine. Then you're going to want to go to chip eeprom, chip read and write. Then you want to go to eeprom, because this is the actual eeprom, which is the memory that stores the crash data. So we're going to go to eeprom, and this model chip is ST. That's the manufacturer, so we're going to go down to ST, and there it is. And it's the M95640. Okay, M95XXX. It's going to drill down to get more specific, and that's it, M95640. And also, you can actually locate what memory chip you have by actually looking on the chip. I'm going to show you on one of these. If I can zoom in here, see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, as you can see on these chips, they pretty much all are labeled, so you can see the model number. So basically on this chip, you'll be able to look on it and you'll read that number on there. That's how you can figure out which memory chip you have. And I don't know if you can read that, but it's right there. Okay, back to the IM608. I'm going to select this, and we're going to go to eeprom. Now, what you're going to want to do is go to set. Well, first thing, let's look at the schematic. So you can, it's kind of going to give you an overview of the, there's placing the chip and positioning it, connecting it rather. So it shows you different figures of the chips. Usually many chips are marked with that little circle there. That's how you identify pin 1, right? So as you can see, that's kind of what it looks like too sometimes, or something like that too. But in our case, let's see here, our chip is actually like this. It's completely flat at the top and it has that bevel that goes down. That's how I know pin 1 is on that side, which is the reason why I have pin 1, which is marked in red, going like that, because the chip is actually right here. It's actually beveled down at the front, like that picture. Okay. So now we're going to go out of this. This also shows you, the cable and how to connect it. Doesn't really specify the orientation, but there's some good information you can read here on this side that kind of tells you about the figures and whatnot. You can go through and read up on that. We're gonna go back. Now, what's important, you want to go to set, because I've had an issue where you read the chip, the data off the chip, and I went to test it and the data was basically corrupt. So to resolve that issue, you want to go to set validation, okay? And this will be off by default. So when you read the data from the chip, it's going to read the data from the chip to the IM608, then it's going to go back and read it again and verify that the data matches. If it doesn't match, it'll error out. Then you're going to need to try it again. Try it a couple of times until it succeeds. If it doesn't, you might not be sitting properly on the pins. So, and definitely important, you want to have write validation on, right? Erase validation is not that important. So now you'll just press OK on that. And you don't want to mess with the set voltage. That's already correct for the chip. So you go back, and then at this point you'll go to read. So I'm already connected and plugged in. It's gonna start talking to the actual unit, and as you can see, it's reading. It read it twice. Let me back that out and do it one more time so you can actually see it. So I'm gonna go to read, and you'll see the programmer start lighting up as it's reading. Read it one time. Now verification process. You see that? Verify error. That means that read was bad. I didn't touch anything. I'm just going to read it one more time. Verify error again. Twice. Still haven't touched anything. Now it read it perfectly, and I didn't touch anything. All right. So at this point, now you have your crash data read, basically your memory on the from the unit. You're gonna save it. I've got mine saved as, the model number. Just put crash so you know what it is, and you can identify it by the vehicle, what kind of vehicle it's from, and then you just go to save. You want to note the path, right? So I'm in SD card scan, user data programmer, save. Okay, this is the part where now at this point I transfer it over. You could actually do it on the there are online services that you can use now that you have that bin file, and you can basically go to the website, or because you need to then clear the crash data from this file. You can just search and find one of your preference. I'm not endorsing any. I've got a tool on my laptop, so I'm actually going to transfer the file over from my IM608 Bluetooth to my laptop, and then I'm going to clear the cache. And once you get that cleared file, you then need to write it back to the device. Okay, now I've got my cleaned file onto the IM608. So I will now write that clean file back to the EEPROM. And so we're going to go back to the programmer. Programmer. Okay. Now we're going to write this time. And here is my clean file. Here was the crash file. Are you sure? Yes, I want to select this file. Okay, now it's writing to the chip, and it's going to verify chip rating successfully. So that's why you need to have the verify on, because you don't want to have a write error happen in this case. At this point, you're done. You put this module back together the same way we took it apart and connect it to your car, and your crash data will be cleared. Any questions, just leave it in the comment description. Comment box rather. I'll also be adding more videos on flashing and doing other things with the IM608, and also with your laptop. You know, a lot of these things you can actually do with your laptop. I also have other programmers. You can, in fact, the programmer, I could have connected it to my laptop and done the exact same thing. It's not necessary to do it on the IM608. It's just, you can if you want. I mean, in fact, you can just get a EEPROM reader and do the same thing on a laptop. You know, it's not necessary to have this tool to do this function. So, like I said, comments and let me know if there's anything you want to see, maybe on this tool, on other tools. Peace.